everybody wants.
And
okay, we'd like to welcome you to Quilt Show Reno Live. We have 3 great teachers that are with us today that we're going to be interviewing. So make sure you write down your questions. Welcome, Brenda. Thank you for being the first one to tune in. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of housekeeping first. I just want to remind you guys, and Connie's going to remind you too, that book your hotels now for the Grand Sierra Resort. The room rates are starting at $69 a night, which you can't beat in Reno. And we've got a lot of evening activities and classes and demos and just a lot of fun stuff, a lot of special exhibits. And I think we'll be able to hear about one special exhibit today. So we're going to start with Connie. We do have a couple of demos today. So you're going to want to make sure you have a pencil and pen so you can write down some notes. And I'm just going to turn it over to you, Connie.
Well, thank you, Beth. And audience, we just are welcoming you to the Reno Quilt Show preview. I'm going to tell you about some classes that we have been asked to do. We have 4 workshops. 2 of them are binding, and I'm just going to start. We have 2 binding classes, 1 Lorelei project class, and then we have the last one is paper piecing. And so I'm just going to start on this side. I hung these things in my studio today so that you could see them. Lorelei Harris is a wonderful designer, and she's been a friend for years and years and years. And when she told me that she was stopping last January, I wasn't too surprised. But when she told me there would be no more fabric, I was in shock, and I'm still in shock. But we're going to do our last final Lorelei project where you make 3 different projects using Lorelei's fabric. One of them will be a tote bag, and you have several choices to choose if you'd like a happy camper or a chicken or a pickleball. And then you're going to make a reversible apron in that class, and then one other small project. And that class is going to be Wednesday from 12 till 3. So it'll be the day before the show starts, and you'll have a fun time choosing what you would want to do. The next class that we're going to do on Thursday morning, it's from 8 to 9. So the show doesn't open, I don't think, till 10. And that class would start at 8. It's just an hour class to tell you about Fusible. And so you can check the program, and I'm sure that it's on the list for that. For the applique, this is the Fusible. This is one thing that we will show you how to do. This is another applique. And this is another applique. And we will be showing you how to do fusible applique, and you can pick a project. We show you how to use, if you don't know how to use, an applique pressing sheet. It comes both rolled and flat, and that will be the basis for our class. It's important when you choose a pressing sheet that you choose one that's really going to work. Both of these are pressing sheets. Do you see how dark this one is? So if I'm going to put my pattern underneath here, I can easily see how to put the pieces on to get this finished product. If I had this pressing sheet, not so much and not so easy. So we'll show you the tips and the tools about having successful fusible applique. We have a workshop. This one is paper piecing, and it's a 3-hour class. You're going to get this pattern, and you'll have 5 blocks that you can make traditional Ohio Star, and the others are regular ones too. And then we're going to give you, you can look in the program. There's one that's called Blocks in Motion, and it's 5 different kinds of blocks. We're giving you that as an added bonus. If you don't like that when you see it, well, you can bring it back to the booth and exchange it for any pattern in the booth. So we hope that you will enjoy paper piecing. A beginner, my 9-year-old niece learned how to paper piece in about an hour. So I know that you can do it as well, and you'll love it. And if you ever wished you had perfect points every time in your quilting, paper piecing is the way to go. We're also going to do a 1 hour jacket class, hour and a half jacket class. If you would like to learn how to take here's one of them. We have lots of them. And this one, maybe you would like to make a jacket for a kid, or maybe you'd like to make a little vest. Those are all made out of sweatshirts that you're covering with fabric. It's fun and it's easy, and there's a few tips that will show you how to do that. And then this just reminds us about the binding. We're going to do 2 binding classes. They have sold out in the past, and so we're doing one on Tuesday evening from 6 to 9, and we're doing the other one on Saturday morning from 8 to 11. So that's a 3-hour class. You'll learn everything there is to know about binding, and you will bind strip binding or bias binding. You'll learn how to make bias binding, and you'll learn how to do it just faster and easier. These, if they were fabric and they were squares, we would call these prairie points. And if we fold them like this and slide one prairie point inside of another one, and then another one inside of that, that makes a very fun edge. And that could be the edge of your quilt, or it could be something coming down the front of your jacket if you'd like to do that. So lots and lots of ideas and options for you to do that. We've stayed at the Grand Sierra for the last however many years that they've been doing it. And their price this year is, I think, the lowest it's ever been at $69 a night. And so I would just encourage you to come. We can stay there, eat there, shop there, and do some quilting there. And I'd also encourage you, we're going to do a make it and take it, so anybody can come and pay a little bit and get a applique of their choice and a tea towel of their choice. We'll show you how to do fusible applique. And I would encourage you to make this a grandma, granddaughter, or grandson project. There's lots of things that kids can do there, and introduce them to sewing. I introduced my 7-year-old who lives in Scotland to sewing when he came. He wanted to know what that machine was and how did it work. So he just sent me a picture just before Halloween that he had made his cat a super cape. And so they just need a taste of what they can do, and then they'll just take off. So we encourage you to come to the show. We encourage you to stay at the Grand Sierra, and we encourage you to get signed up for classes. Binding class always goes so fast that they've added another one this year. So take a look at what you might want to get and then sign up right away. We'll look forward to seeing you at the show. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Connie. And I do want to remind everybody that if you sign up for classes, the class registration is going to open up on Black Friday, so the day after Thanksgiving. And if you sign up between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you will get a Bedazzled Quilt Show Reno 2026 t-shirt. So that's kind of something pretty exciting. I'm not going to tell you what it says on the back of it, but it will give you something to chuckle about. All right. I think next we have Jennifer. Let me just add you to the stage, and there you go. Jennifer, you're with Snapdragon Quilting, and right now you're really busy. I see your emails. They come in they come into my mailbox. You are an ambassador for Binnertex. And what else are you doing exciting?
Yeah, thank you so much, Beth, for having me and for reading my emails. Yeah, I love to send out just like once a month that newsletter. Here's where I'm going. Here's what's new. It's just an easy way to kind of stay in touch with people. So this year I was a Binnertex ambassador, and it has just been a whirlwind of fun. I got to be on stage with them at QuiltCon, and then I've recolored some of my existing patterns in their fabrics for their upcoming fabric lines. And then I got to work with 6 different fabric lines and make brand new patterns. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching this year in Reno. I'm bringing 2 of my brand new patterns that I did in collaboration with Binnertex.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to just turn it right over to you, and you can show us whatever your heart desires.
Perfect. So I'm teaching 2 classes this summer in Reno. And the first one is Poppy Louise, which is this quilt pattern here behind me. And this class is on Tuesday June 9th in the evening from 6 to 9. And then the other class that I'm teaching is this pattern here. And this one is brand new. It just released like a week ago. This one is called Riley Michelle. And I actually named this one after my daughter, Riley, who's graduating from UNR in May. She is going to be a nurse, and we're just so excited for her. So I thought, what better way than to celebrate her achievement with a brand new quilt pattern. And so I'm teaching this class. This one is on Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. And you probably noticed looking at both of these quilts that there's some curves in them. And I just love putting curves in my quilts, but I know so many quilters are so afraid of curves. So I actually travel all over the country to a lot of guilds and shows teaching curved piecing. And I have some really fun methods, and people have so much success with it. And it's just really been quite an adventure. I started teaching quilting about 2 years ago. And so getting to see faces light up and learn this new method, it's so fun. So I actually have it set up for a demo. So let me switch my camera. Hold on, let's pick a camera. There we go. Okay. Can you see that all right?
Yep, it's perfect.
Perfect. So we're going to be making the Riley Michelle pattern, which is this quilt here. But the technique is very similar for both quilts. And so I'm going to start with 2 different color fabrics. And when we're thinking about curves, it really helps to think about curves like pie. Just like, you know, Thanksgiving is coming. So let's think about some pumpkin pie, pecan pie. We have 2 fabrics. One is for our pie crust and one is for our pie filling. And so when I put these together, it's going to look like this. So we're going to start by taking just our fabric for our pie crust. And I like to use this heavy duty freezer paper. Freezer paper is a product that you can buy at the grocery store, the ordinary stuff, but it's really thin and floppy. And so I find I really like to use this heavy duty freezer paper because it makes a much sturdier template. And you can see it's like 3 times thicker, or like a heavy piece of cardstock. One side is paper and one side is plastic. And so all of my patterns, I always include the template in here. So you can trace this onto paper, onto freezer paper, and cut it out. But I have just launched this week. I have 4 patterns that use freezer paper templates. And so I have launched laser cut templates for all of them. So I'm so excited to be showing you guys these today. You guys are the first ones that get to see it. So we're going to take our freezer paper and I'm going to iron it onto the back of my pie crust. And I've put the shiny side down. That's the plastic side. And the heat from my iron is going to melt that plastic just enough that it sticks. What you're going to find that's different though when ironing heavy duty freezer paper is that it takes a little bit longer because it's so thick for it to really melt. So then I'm going to take a good pair of fabric scissors and I'm going to just roughly cut my seam allowance here and then come in and do a few clips. When fabric bends, it needs a little bit of extra room. And so all I'm doing is giving it some room here to bend. And then I'm going to get a glue pen. I really like this glue pen. It's from Soline. It's washable. And I like it because it's nice and narrow, so I'm not getting glue everywhere. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there on the edge. We'll see if I got enough. And I'm going to use my freezer paper to create my curve. So I don't even have to sew, and I already am getting a perfect curve. So I live in Las Vegas where it's dry. So you can see my glue. Sometimes I need a little extra glue. We'll put it on there. There we go. Okay, so now I have a perfect curve, and then I'm going to put glue now on top of my fabric. So I know this seems a little bit strange, but it works really well. Now I have glue on both sides of my seam allowance, and I'm going to take my filling, and I'm going to line this up. Let's get it good and square. And then I just finger press this on. So now it looks like my Drunkard's Path block is done, but it's just glued together. And this makes it really easy to sew. I have a group of about 30 or 40 pattern testers. And one of them was so cute. She goes, Jen, when she was making this, it's called Peel As You Sew. So what you're going to do is you're going to peel your pie crust off and expose the edge of the freezer paper. And then I come in and I sew right up against the edge of my freezer paper. And because I have glued down the seam allowance on the other side, even though I've taken the sticky side of the freezer paper off, it's still sticking to my fabric. And it makes it really easy to come in and just sew right here up against the edge of my freezer paper. And I'm going to sew all the way around. And I intentionally did this one in red thread so you could see. So before I trimmed it, what this looked like is I was coming in right here and stitching right up against the edge of my freezer paper. And it makes it so easy to get this perfect smooth curve. And the technique is very similar for both of the patterns that we're doing. So these classes are so much fun and such a great way to really start to incorporate curves in your quilts. You don't have to have ever done them before. You can be new to quilting and come and have success with these classes. Let's switch you back here. Okay, so that's what we're doing for these classes. And then of course, there's lots more details. We do quite a bit more in class. And then on Saturday, I'm doing a lecture and it's called Innovative Quilt Making. I really love to blend modern and traditional techniques in my patterns. And so I do little demos about, you know, foundation paper piecing and curve piecing and using freezer paper. And it's a lot of fun. I tell some funny stories. So my lecture is always a blast. And of course, we'll show some quilts too. So, all right.
Perfect. So if they want to follow you, or if they want to get your email newsletters, how should they do that?
So I am at Snapdragon Quilting on YouTube. So I've got some great tutorials there. And then at Snapdragon Quilting on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And then if you want to get my newsletter, you can just go to my website, snapdragonquilting.com. And at the very bottom of every page, you can just sign up for my monthly newsletter there.
Perfect. Perfect. So if you guys have any questions throughout this little interview, you can always type them in and we'll make sure we get them asked. And we do want to welcome Irish Sail Lady. She says this is her first time catching us live. All right, Jennifer, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And we are looking forward to seeing you in Reno.
Thank you for having me.
Are you doing a booth in Reno also?
Yes, I'll have a booth and I'm on the stage, I think on Thursday too for a minute.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So we'll probably interview you again and maybe get a little sneak peek or some photos of your booth so that they can know what to expect when they get there.
Perfect. And I totally forgot to tell you, I just got fabric in for Riley Michelle. So I have kits, but if you just want some of this fabric, I have fat quarter bundles and 5x5 and 10x10 packs. And then my kits for Poppy Louise are still getting put together. So I'll probably have those in about 2 weeks. But you can order outlet supplies, fabric, patterns, all on my website.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. All right. Okay, so next we have Rob Appell joining us. Hey there, Rob. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you, Beth. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you. So what do you have exciting going on in your life? I know you just got back into town because you're pretty much on the road all the time nowadays.
Yeah, I feel like I travel at least half of every month. Just literally came back in from Texas, spent another week out at Stitch in Heaven all last week. We had our outdoor quilt show out there and spent a bunch of time creating new content, mostly for our new social. We're hitting the short forms really hard right now. We're having a lot of fun, just kind of goofing off with the camera. We were promoting a big sale. Doing most of my YouTube, like my long tutorial work still here in California. So lots of fun.
Perfect. Well, and so I have been a fan for like, I don't know, 1,000 years because I'm about that old. But your latest love is what?
My latest love?
Yes.
Am inside of quilting or outside of quilting? I have always answers for everything. You know me.
Yes, yes. I would say it's related to quilting, but not necessarily quilting.
So do you want me to say tattooing here in this interview? Is that what you're digging for?
Yes.
Okay, because I have a whole new passion in quilting too, but yeah, I can do a quick plug. Oh golly. And Beth, I apologize. I assume folks know my story because I've been so blessed to be on YouTube for so many years talking about quilting, teaching quilting. I was man sewing before I'm at Stitch in Heaven. But I really, I guess, promote myself as a recovering alcoholic who uses quilt making to keep my hands busy. And I've learned over the last several years that a lot of us are using our hands as like a mental therapy. You know, all of this work, all of the things we do is to help our mind settle and all of these kinds of things. So for me, quilting is my career, So I find other art. See, I'm actually answering the question. I find
Yes.
other art outside of quilting that I can do that can be creative and joyful without the stress of being on a deadline until it explodes and then I end up on another deadline. But yes, so I got licensed about 3 years ago as a tattoo artist here in California. And what's been really fun is everywhere I travel to do quilting events, I end up taking my tattoo equipment with me and doing tattoos, mostly quilt related, on our quilting friend. So it's been pretty wild. It's been pretty goofy, and also a blessing. I think I offer maybe a different service or maybe a different energy around tattooing for the quilters. Maybe makes them a little more comfortable.
Right.
Maybe they feel like they know me because they've been watching me. Although they've been watching me, blow seams and, make disastrous blocks for years. I don't know why they let me get anywhere near them with a permanent ink. But anyway,
I don't know either.
But I'm glad to hear you've already scheduled your appointment at the tattoo parlor with me.
Exactly. No, I did see the Bird of Paradise on a gal at a quilt show, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. And am I supposed to show quilts like the other ladies did? I felt like a little underprepared. These gals are going to be great teachers, and here I'm just goofing off. But I did. Well, I have a segue. Do I have a segue? I almost have a segue.
My son says if it's free, he'll do it because you know what? He would really love a matching tattoo to his mother.
Right.
Matching mother and son tattoos.
I might be able to work something out for the gal who's hosting me. Anyways, this is a new quilt named Kevin, and it's an applique of a hummingbird. And this I have tattooed as a quilted hummingbird now on 3 different folks. So like my Bird of Paradise, yes, I'm starting to tattoo my own quilting designs on folks as tattoos. So that's been pretty dang wild. I'm not teaching that applique though. I don't want to give false advertising for the Reno show. I am teaching, and this is the thing I was going to answer, Beth. If you had asked me what my passion in quilting was, and I never thought this, it's scrap quilting. Maybe organized scrap quilting, or I think it's not actually so much scrap quilting, but letting go more in quilting, becoming this carefree quilter for real. A while ago, I made a wonky log cabin. This is a class I believe I'm teaching for all of you there at the show. So just having fun playing with some different style block or wonky log cabin. But I do have a process that makes it pretty easy and fun to do. Learning about our palettes a little bit. We can't just throw everything together in scrap quilting. A lot of the quilts I'm going to show here for the next few seconds. It was really fun to see Jennifer because I have designed a line of fabric for Benartex, and the line of fabric was designed based on a software application I use for creating geometric tattoos that allows me to design everything in hexagon repeat. So I've also created a lot of geometric tattoos lately. Excuse me, I can't even keep it straight. Geometric quilts. So this double tumbling block, this block and a block, I also believe I'll be teaching this in Reno. It's a strip piece project. So it's very easy to create and construct, but the pieces up close here, the prints are my own fabric line, which you can see I have a geometric or hexagon background, which has been really fun. I'm learning the paper piece because of that. Teaching this workshop, a little bit more of advanced, but I'm going to take Jennifer's curve class the day before, so I'll feel better about my work. This is the Super 60 template. So I've got some templates for making curves inside of triangles and the triangles and everything so they lock together so that we can do all kinds of different 60-degree style patterns using the different templates I've created. So those are actually pieced curves where I used to do so much applique. So I'm sure that all of us teaching together, it sounds like it's going to be a great lineup from Reno. I'm really pumped up. I love being out on the road. As Beth was saying at the beginning of my little segment, absolutely love getting the fact that we're I guess I'm still pretty pumped up like this post-COVID. I hate to relate things to COVID again, but it's been really exciting the last 2 years watching all of the quilters gather. And I just feel like maybe that's been part of the explosion in creativity we're all experiencing. I borrowed an idea from Chris Marcini up in Portland at oh no, I'm going to forget the name, Rose City Originals. He was doing a die, like a random generated block with AccuQuilt. Anyway, so I came up with a free pattern. This is a workshop we're going to do. Now, this is my quilt, so you don't get this quilt. You get to make your own. But this is a Scrap Masters quilt. So there's a ton of blocks in here, but each week, right now on Fridays, I'm doing a weekly roll and spin on the Stitch in Heaven YouTube channel. And so I generate with, I've got them. Oh, no, they're packed away. But I generate a random block by spinning a color wheel and then rolling a couple of die. And it's super fun to participate. So those of you that are interested in just kind of having something, this goes back to the wellness in sewing, like a palette cleanser. I realize that sewing is super important for my keeping busy and my mental health. But sometimes when I don't know what to work on next, I get I almost said freaked out, I guess. And that's true. I lost 3 days of my life a while back trying to figure out which project to start next. And I realized from that point on, I need to have something that I can just fire up and sew on at any moment. So that's where this whole random scrap block generator came from, that idea. And I am having so much fun. We've had a whole community building around it. We have retreats building around it, all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited. I've offered this workshop in a lot of places, and it's going to be a hoot as far as what we get to do. And so anyways, I'm pumped up. I'm super excited to be up there. I apologize for not knowing my schedule super well. I'm pretty sure I'm doing a full trunk show on Friday, and you'll get to see all my quilts, and I'll be around when I'm not in the class. I'll be around just for hugs and stories and sharing time with all the quilters there. I need to do a little shopping myself. Of course, I like to look around, and always inspired by seeing all the quilts on display and stuff. And so I'm pretty pumped up. So yeah, perfect. What else can I answer for you, Beth? Sorry, I just kind of stole the microphone and ran. Was I supposed to do that?
That's perfect. It makes my job super easy.
Oh,
Ellie does say that she wants to talk to you about a tattoo. And
good, Ellie. Sounds good.
I love it when we can mix different creative mediums, because sometimes, not that we don't love fabric, but sometimes creative people, we need kind of to dibble and dabble in other things. So I think it's a lot of fun. So you are doing a lecture Friday night. So you guys want to make sure you sign up for his lecture Friday night. It's the most reasonably priced lecture you're ever going to go to this year and next, and probably in your lifetime. So make sure you sign up for that. We love keeping things affordable. And you're also going to be doing a special exhibit for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I'm going to send you an email with everything you've committed to.
What's that?
I'm going to send you an email with everything you've committed to.
Fantastic. I just didn't know how much I was supposed to say. Like I said, I got a little unprepared as I was a little busier than I should have been last week. I love it. And
everybody watching knows that we're creative people, and now we're having to juggle all these different things with the internet and everything. And so they just love us how we are. So
if I hear you correctly, I get to hang a bunch of my quilts up.
Yes.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. I could talk about them and show them off, and yeah, that's rad. I love that.
Yes.
And so even better. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to let everybody know they want to make sure to sign up for the different classes, because a lot of the teachers are not having a booth. In the past, most of our teachers were also vendors, but this year we're doing something a little bit different. We're bringing in a lot of teachers that aren't vendors. So really the only way you can make sure you get time with them is if you are in their classes. They will be kind of floating around, but you just never know when or where you'll see them.
Some of us are easily distracted.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. All right. So if you just joined in, Miss Connie Wiggins, you can go back and you can rewatch this as many times as you'd like. We will see you next Monday at 3:00. And I want to thank Jennifer and Rob. Jennifer, do you have any last words you want to tell us?
You know what? When Rob was talking, I was thinking about Stitch in Heaven, and I just met them not this year in Houston, I was there, but the year before, and they booked me. So I get to go teach at Stitch in Heaven in March, and I'm so excited.
I knew I knew your name, and I was assuming it was because you declined using my fabric because you had such good taste. But instead,
I don't think they offered me your fabric.
Right? It's because I always say I'm going to do something with it, and then I never show up. So,
Susan,
I hoard it.
Rob is teaching like 4 days, so you have to go to the website and look at the classes. You'll be able, but don't go look at the website yet because the classes are super top secret until Black Friday. So the classes do not get released till Black Friday. Put it in your schedule, set your alarm so you can sign up for the classes. If you sign up Black Friday to Cyber Monday, you will get a bedazzled Quilt Show Reno t-shirt, which is super exciting. I mean, everybody's going to be twinsies.
I want a bedazzled Quilt Show
Me
Reno
too.
t-shirt.
I might order a man one for you, okay?
I'm going to order a couple sizes too small as well. I think that's going to be the look I'm going for.
We can hardly wait.
I'm sure.
So I think Jennifer and Rob are going to become very fast friends because that's just kind of how it works in this industry.
Already. I know that's the best part about quilters, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
That's amazing.
Are you doing the Pamela May retreat? Is that what it is, Jennifer?
That's the one. Yeah.
Now that's your pattern, yes?
That's my pattern.
Yeah. So that's because I'm sitting there looking I'm like, this is rad. So, fantastic. Yeah, we are already long time friends. And when I first saw you there, I'm like, I know her for some reason. And when she said we hadn't really met, I was actually kind of hurt. But
I don't think I've ever met you in real life. Like I'm
She just didn't remember you
and stuff, and just never had a chance to say hi.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got to today.
Wonderful. Okay. All right, friend. Well, we're going to have a great time then as we entertain all of these folks in Reno.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you guys for taking time out of your We only do things that are fun here.
Oh, okay, good. So we can hang out for the next 3 or 4 hours. Because if not, I got to go make another video.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you probably throughout the year. We'll do some spontaneous lives, not so spontaneous, but spontaneous. When you guys have time in your schedule, just let me know, and we'll love to do another interview.
Sounds great.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for joining us out there. We'll see you next Monday at 3.